Are we? You're ready.
Okay.
Why?
This is the City of Sandy Oaks Animal Control Advisory Committee meeting on June 22nd, 2020, and it is 6:42 p.m. Notice is hereby given that this is a meeting of the City of Sandy Oaks Animal Control Advisory Committee being held today, Monday, June 22nd, 2020, at 6:42 at Sandy Oaks City Hall, located at 4451 Hickory Haven, Sandy Oaks, Texas 78112, which is being live streamed and accessible to the public for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action. In an effort to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings, also called social distancing, and to slow the spread of coronavirus, there will be no in-person public access to the meeting. The link for public to participate is posted. Call to order and quorum call. Let's just go around the table and introduce ourselves. I'm CJ Walker.
Julie Ramirez.
Gustavo Godoy.
Lori Cherry.
Janet Vanderbilt. Lynette Fetterspill.
And Mickey Ball.
Chris Maldonado.
Okay. And the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no citizens to be heard.
No.
All right. Number 4, discuss and/or possible action on nominees to the Animal Control Advisory Committee for City Council review. I already have this on the agenda for Thursday night for City Council, but I want to clarify that I was going to nominate Julie Ramirez, Michelle, I need to clarify, make sure with her. Stephen Groover has already said yes. Janet and Lori?
I don't live in Sandy Oaks.
She's across the street.
Right. But you're in Sandy Oaks.
Yes.
Okay.
You should be on the committee.
How often does it meet?
Every second and fourth Tuesday.
Monday.
Monday. Sorry, Monday. And you would need
I mean,
to
I'll
make,
be on it if y'all will let me.
you would need to make, you can have no more than 3 absences.
Is
Consecutive.
there any requirement that they be a citizen?
She's on Mathis Road, just the other side of the street.
No, I'm not sure it is for Acac. For the shelter board, the only ones excused are the
ACO?
the vet and the rescue person or animal welfare organization person that don't have to live in Sandy Oaks, but I don't think it says.
What
It
time?
says citizens appointed by city council.
What time are their meetings?
6:30.
6:30.
Same thing?
Yeah.
So this,
That's what this is.
That's what this is.
so what am I considering? To be
Coming
an
here
official
To be an
part?
official
say
official
your voice
member.
on it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. And since it's
It says citizens, so I'm assuming that means city.
Sandy Oaks City.
Yeah.
residents.
Okay.
Can I still come anyway?
Yes,
may.
of course you may.
Okay.
As
You
a,
better let her because I use her traps.
And Lynette,
What's that? Am I coming back?
I'm coming back again?
I haven't decided. Can it be up in the air and I'll let you know?
Like, before Thursday?
Yes.
before
Be
Thursday,
able to do it anyway.
Okay.
Work schedules.
because I need to make nominations on Thursday for the
Yeah,
council.
yeah.
And even if you decide not to, you're always welcome to
Oh.
show up.
Weekends
It's
only.
only the weekend.
Okay. All right. So that'll happen on
We could make a
Thursday.
great trapping team, Lynette. A great, huge trapping team.
Huge. Sure could. I don't have to be on the committee to do that, though.
Okay.
There you go.
No, you don't. All right, and 5,
We could use about 30 trappers.
Chris, any update on animals currently at Oak Hills, Foster, or other locations that are scheduled for placement or need placement?
So we do have some cats that aren't in our possession. They're still at the residence. We haven't taken them in because we have nowhere to hold them in the meantime. So they're there. I've got in contact with Michelle. She helps coordinate that. She said that they will be able to take some of those kittens. It's just that we have to coordinate well to pick up those animals so we don't have them overnight or anything like that.
What are they
Okay.
there for?
They're there because they were born there.
Is this the one on Shady Forest?
Are they
She
all?
had some ferals, and I think 4 ferals, and between them, they all had 13 kittens about the same time.
I know because
Oh,
COVID.
jeez.
I think there's only 4 left.
Everything.
that-
Brooks
what's her
shut
name?
down. Everyone shut down.
What's the lady's
Spay
name?
neuters.
When we needed them most.
I want to say her name is
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Garcia.
That's her. Okay.
So she only has 4 kittens left.
Oh, good.
She said that.
Lida from the other side, she came and took 11 kittens this weekend, so there's only 4 left.
Okay.
Cool.
There's another lady on Native Oak. I just spoke to her today. She has 3 kittens. They're more like teenagers now. Trying to coordinate the same thing with them. And then we have those 2 dogs that we picked up today.
And they need placement?
They do.
They're at Oak Hills. So they were picked up today. So that's day 1. What about TNR? Did you get in touch with Mr. Nevin?
I tried going to his house.
Did you call him?
I called him.
Oh, okay.
I let him know that I was going to go. He wasn't there.
Okay. This is your neighbor 2 doors down,
Nick?
Nick.
Yes.
So Chris is going to work with him. When he bought the house,
I
it
know.
came with about 30 cats.
I think somebody sent me a text about him.
I think he has neutered 2 males on his own, but I told him that I would have Chris get with him and we would get those cats herded up
Uh-huh.
at 4 or 5 at a time, whatever we can take, and get them to Brooks. He's okay managing the colony.
That's what he said. He doesn't mind feeding
He
them.
doesn't mind
them
managing,
being
he just
there.
wants them to stop reproducing.
Right.
Well,
Right.
we can go over there.
Yeah.
And that big trap would probably be awesome.
I have a drop trap now.
It's huge. So
Oh.
you can catch like 4 or 5 at a time.
And will they take them that way?
No, we,
It
Oh,
has a
you
trap
catch
door
them that way.
door.
Right.
and then when they go out, they go into the trap that you take in.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So if you want to just, or Chris,
Get with
if
Chris.
you want to give us his address, as long as he's cool with us doing that. Like, some people I can talk to about don't want anyone on their property.
No, he's fine. He's very
Well,
nice.
if you've been in contact with him, or someone.
As long as he
Gotta do
knows who
that.
you are.
I think it would be better for him to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then let us know what's a good day for him.
I wanted to meet him face to face so I can talk to him
Right.
personally, but he wasn't there.
All right, just let us know. We're past the house that we were doing next door to me and on to the next house, the blue one.
In TNRs? Because that's
Yeah.
part of the same subject as TNRs.
I don't remember how many cats did we get from Lily?
Oh, God, 15 to 20.
15 to 20.
I think there's only like 5,
I think there's only like 3 left,
3 left.
but they're very savvy.
Yes. They're the last ones are always the hardest ones.
Mhm.
So we're trying to get the ones next door to her, which I don't think they have as many. We're actually putting the traps on the fence line between her and the neighbor that doesn't want anyone on their property. So if their cats come over and we catch them, we're gonna get them neutered and spayed.
Okay. All right, so that's TNRs.
And
Um,
we have some.
And Lori was going to do, I think it was Lori, was going to do the TNR policy. Weren't
Policy
you going to
or
write a
what?
TNR policy for the city? One of you guys?
No, I think it was like just an article.
And then I got COVID, so I didn't write the article.
You got sick?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, no, not
It's
good.
okay. That was in March. We're good now.
Don't come. Where's your man?
So, yeah, we have a,
Just kidding.
we need,
We need a policy. Do we have a current policy?
no,
Oh, okay.
We don't have a TNR policy?
not formal, not part of the policy and procedure manual.
Just like suggestions.
No,
We
an
don't even
actual
have that.
policy for the city.
No, I mean,
No, all
what
we
you have
have
now
is
is just
The
suggestions.
program.
Oh, yeah.
The official program that the feral, I mean.
The feral
can we
cat.
Just adopt, take that and
We pretty much can. I thought one of you guys had something you were gonna send me already, or you were gonna write it up already.
It was, my recollection, it was just like a newsletter.
Yeah,
There was an
just an
article for the
article.
newsletter, but then we had discussed the policy also.
I mean, we can look for like Google
From the-
sample policies.
Well,
or-
Well, isn't there one from the Feral Cat Coalition?
Yeah, you could try
Okay.
to find.
I don't know, is there?
I
Oh, I'm
think
sure
there is.
Or they'd be more than happy to share.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we can look for that.
And then the article for the newsletter was just a really short blurb.
The newsletter never went out. The only person I heard from was Chris. That's
Really?
the only person who provided me anything, so. I got other things going on. I figure if anybody wants a newsletter, they'll get me information.
Right. Well, that was the article for it, was a little bit on the TNR.
Yeah.
So if we can get it pulled together,
Probably will not be doing a direct mail newsletter anymore.
probably an e-newsletter.
Yeah, do an e-newsletter, just because the master plan stuff came back.
Right.
And 90% of respondents said electronic is fine with them, so that makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. I agree.
Are you on number 7?
Yeah.
Did we skip 6?
No, we were talking about the TNRs,
Yeah, where we were at.
where you guys were
You
at,
gave us
and
the
Nick's,
update on
and
release.
the ones that were over at
Oh, I
Lisa's.
thought, I misread this, I thought there would be a number attached to it. Because I'm not keeping track. And then,
Chris, do you have a number on TNR for this month, or
I can get it, I can pull it, but I don't have it.
I mean, I
Top
don't,
of the head, no, I don't.
I don't need it, I'm just, was curious. And
I
then,
know we didn't do anything in May for TNR, because that was on his last report.
well,
That's
wasn't
when
that
everything
when-
was still shut down.
wasn't
Yeah,
it-
everything was still shut down during COVID. I'm hoping that they're opening back up now and we can start
Negative.
this. Huh?
Negative.
Negative?
Brooks is
Mhm.
open.
Brooks is it.
Really?
No,
Means they're
Snap is
swamped.
closed.
no, the Humane Society
Yeah, but it's only 15 cats.
and,
A day or?
An ABL.
Brooks is only 10. Yeah, there's some doing it, but you have to, if,
Gotta get there like super early and you have
That's
to
just the
be-
cats, that's just
Gets there
TNRs,
the night
right?
before.
Yeah, like at 5 o'clock in the
I
morning.
get there at midnight and wait 6 hours. So I guess-
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, 5 in the
That's
morning is
dedication.
too late. You're number 12 in line
I was
already.
second in line when I got there at midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
So the
Yeah,
next
because
time I
somebody
went
takes
first.
so many cats.
wow.
They limit you
Yeah.
to 3 per person,
Mhm.
10 total. So if there's 4 cars, and the first 3 have 3 cats
Exactly.
each, the last car can have 1 cat only.
wow.
Wow,
I've seen them turn away so many cars.
Oh, sure.
And then they give them a list of ones that are open where they can go. And
By
I
the
think
time you get there.
Pet Shots is open.
Yeah, but nobody likes to use them. And Hill Country Animal League is open, but that's all the way in Bernie.
Mhm.
Nah, I ain't doing
Yeah, that's.
And it's not free, it's $20.
Ours ain't free either.
$20 at Feral and Hill Country.
it. The city pays 20.
20.
The city pays 20 for the girls here.
Right.
From Brooks.
Mhm.
It's 20 for anyone, even a private citizen.
All right, and number 8, discuss and/or possible action on vaccination and microchip clinics. Well, we had the one, Penny Paws,
They were just here.
and that somehow got confused.
Why? They had their sign up
Why
for
do
a
I
week.
hear a cat?
It was supposed to be down here at the park, and they went and set up over at the shops.
I
And
know.
then they had to tear it down and come back over here to the park.
Yeah, because I went over there at 3 with my neighbor's dog, and they were there, but there wasn't very many people there.
Yeah, they were supposed to
They
be
were supposed
here.
to be here.
But it didn't say on their sign. It didn't say where, so, because I told my neighbor, I said, well, they're either going to be here in the strip mall or they're going to be at the park. So if they weren't there, I would have driven to the park.
Yeah, and
So,
it's always on the
One thing I
sign.
wanted to show you, and Michelle, I thought was gonna put the signs out. I know she was asking for them.
There was one out
did.
by,
Yeah.
So what we did is, these are painted with chalkboard paint so that we can reuse them for different events. So for the pet clinics, they're supposed to be redone and then placed around so people would know. All we had for Penny Paws was just the large sign that was placed on the corner up there at, by Dollar General.
Right.
Right
The
on there.
banner.
and there was
And
one.
see, I
for
thought
City
Michelle was
Stores.
gonna put
Yeah, I
a
gave
sign
her-
next to
I
it.
took 3
No, there wasn't a
signs
sign
to her,
next to it.
and she said she put them up.
Now, they stole
Right.
one,
Close
maybe,
to-
but there's still one.
She put one up at
There's
the,
still
by
one
the
up
water
there?
tower,
It's
one up
just
at the
our
front with the,
They
by
took down their
DG,
banner. but
and
sign
the other
is
one, I
still-
don't know where she put it.
So we need to make sure our signs get picked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know there was a question as to what happened to the other sign.
But yeah, she
Well,
thought
that
it was
banner-
there. She said she put them up.
Isn't there a banner laying on the floor over there? By
No,
the sink?
No. Penny Paws picked it up.
Oh,
that's one of the banners they used.
okay.
So they had their own banner, one posted by the water tower and one in the front. And then Michelle put her signs up, one by the water tower, the black ones.
Yeah.
And one up front, and I don't know where the other one was. If it was on the island.
But somebody
or what.
took one of Penny Paw's banners?
No. Someone took one of the black ones that
Oh.
she put up. That was,
The one at the front.
yeah, the one at the front that was saying where to go.
Nice.
Yeah. So she had said the 3rd Saturday of each month. So in July, that would be the 18th. And are they still gonna do it 3 to 5, do you know?
I have no idea.
Because I thought they
don't-
used to do a different time frame.
I don't know why they want to do it in the hottest
Healthy
part of
Pets
the
I
day.
thought it was always 3 to 5. And
Really?
Healthy Pets was early.
It was earlier, yeah.
Is Healthy Pets the one associated with China Grove?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they still going to be doing theirs?
Yes, but they're not planning on coming back out until August.
Oh,
And we don't have a firm date for them yet.
okay.
So I have another option. You know, we used to have Wellness on Wheels that came out here every 3rd week. And where I work at, I was leaving work one day and I pulled up to the stoplight and looked across the street and there was a banner. And I saw the Wellness on Wheels truck there. And so I went over and talked to them, and it happened to be, the gentleman's name is Matt from the Valley. I don't know what his wife's name is, but they were the ones who created Wellness on Wheels. Now, the couple that came to our community, the reason they don't come here anymore is they moved back to North Carolina, which is their home base. So I don't know that they're associated with them anymore. But there's a couple of things. So we were talking about spay-neuter, TNR. They're opening a clinic. They bought a piece of property right there on Zarzamora, near SAS Shoes. And I'm looking frantically for, and I know Lynette, I sent you the picture.
So that'll be another option for the team?
Yes, but what I've talked to him about is being a mobile vet to come out here.
Oh, okay.
So get them back on a routine coming out here, and utilizing their spay-neuter clinic also to maybe help us out.
Are they
So
gonna be low
So
cost, like,
that's what I'm hoping for. Now, he talked about a voucher program where we he mentioned $25, but it's like we give them a voucher worth $25 or something like that. Something they take in and that's all they pay for it, or something along those lines. We didn't get into all the details of that.
So cats and dogs,
Yes. they
spay,
do-
neuter,
they
and
do both.
TNR.
Now, I'll tell you one thing that they don't do anymore.
they TNR dogs?
No, 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 not
Cats,
TNR.
cats and dogs, spay and neuter and TNR.
One thing they don't do that they
Sorry, I
did
heard
in
it
the
all
past
together.
is the Zooterin.
They don't do it
They don't do
anymore.
that anymore, and it's not them. The issue is that the company that manufactured that drug went out of business. So the drug is not even available.
Yeah,
What is it?
It was a
chemical.
It would neuter. It was only for male dogs, not
Oh, it's
even
like a
cats.
chemical castration?
Chemical castration.
Well, that would be cool if we could get them on.
Yes, it would.
Or the one thing we have to be cautious about with both, well, with anybody we get out here, is that we get them enough, enough business to
That
make
it
it
makes
worth
it
their
worth,
while
right.
to come
Here
out
it
here.
is. It's called Texas Wellness Spay and Neuter Clinic. I'll show you. I took a picture of their sign. Oh. $49.22 South Zarzamora. They bought the building and they are rehabbing it right now to make it into their clinic, and they hope to be open by August.
Okay, good.
So that's another, and I sent it to you already. I sent it to you, so you already have it.
Another option for the ones that need more than just the basic shots and spay neuter.
Well, the nice thing about it, I mean, I can't guarantee that I can do this, but the nice thing about it is if we can get a TNR program through them, then if somebody can drop the animals off in the morning, I just pick them up on my way home. I mean, when I leave the office, literally I'm...
Boy, leave Chris right out of the whole process,
He would
like
love-
that.
He would love that.
And maybe we won't have to be there the
My
night
dog's not
before.
even bark anymore when
Exactly.
he pulls in.
Yeah. So, I mean,
They're so
that's
used to
just
him.
an option, you know, for as long as I'm still working there, but I've been there 7 years. It doesn't look like they're
Do
ready
you have a
to
large vehicle?
grow me up.
Because
No,
sometimes there's
Cool.
quite a few cages.
I know.
Just
We'll have to figure
stack them
that
up.
Okay,
So I
so,
have to maybe drive the city vehicle to work that day, the Tahoe.
okay, so we have Penny Paws on the 18th of July. The real question was, can we get a microchip clinic scheduled sometime in the next month or so? And who would be willing to?
I was gonna do the microchips.
You're okay with doing the injection?
Absolutely. I'm a respiratory therapist.
I can help, I'm an RN.
I put needles in people's arteries. I can put a chip in it.
So then
I
the
actually
question
do
would
it
be,
for,
Okay.
we'd need a day that you're available and a time that you're available. And do we have 2 guns, or do we have just the one?
There's 2, yeah.
There's 2?
Well, then, if Lori and I can get together, we can get it done twice as fast.
Depends on how many show up.
Right.
But we need to know a day and a time
That's for residents, right?
for residents of the city
Is
of
it gonna-
Sandy Oaks.
Is it gonna cost them?
Yes,
$10.
it's $10, and that
Oh,
includes
that's cheap.
registration. And that includes registration.
That's cheap. They
Well,
Yes.
won't pick up
we
on
buy
that.
them through off of Bear County purchasing contract? No, we don't.
No, we
buy
don't.
them through Pet Point.
Yeah.
But we
And so-
should still have 80 some odd left.
Well, they ought to microchip at least their dogs because they're roaming all over hell.
Exactly,
All over hell.
yeah.
All over San Diego. I'm sorry.
What'd you call it?
She
It's
said they're roaming all over hell.
Oh,
it's required, but getting people to do it is another issue.
Exactly.
So anyway, we need a date and a time. So if you want to contact
Do you want a
contact
weekend?
me.
Saturday's
Week-
the best.
Saturdays are
Saturdays
best.
really
She's
are
right.
best. And
How
and
much?
First thing in the morning,
early in the morning, that's what I was gonna say.
and you have to have someone who could input the stuff in the computer.
Oh, we do reports at work. I mean,
That
I'm
would be
not
gr-
working
that would
currently,
be-
but that's a piece of
Well, if
cake.
we can either have the form filled out and then we can do it after the fact, or if you want somebody sitting there actually doing it.
Hey, if they're gonna do it, that leaves me out, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, you can do the form.
No thanks.
I
I don't do paperwork.
We had
I don't do
volunteers.
paperwork. I do the injections, so
Oh,
if,
well,
if,
then
if,
you two that do the injections and I'll do the
yeah,
form.
someone else could do the forms.
Or we could set up the laptop and have it set up for them to do the registrations at that time, just
Yeah.
to make sure it gets done. I mean, that's why we do it that way, is to make sure
Yeah, because people that
they'll
take
forget,
it
they
home
won't do
never
it.
call and
Yeah.
register. And then when you find a dog, they're like, well, if the chip's not registered.
Yeah. But for $10, it's a,
So anyway, we
Cheap and
need
easy
date
way.
and time, and who's
do
all
you
going
want
to
to
be
do it
doing
in
it.
conjunction with the Penny Paws event?
That would be awesome. We have to have.
Except they're coming in from 3 to 5.
They're coming in from 3 to 5, and the other challenge with that is they also offer microchipping, and I don't know that.
I think you should do that
Michelle
Saturday, either the Saturday
has-
before, or the
I
Saturday
believe we
after.
got the okay that they were
Did we
good
get the
with
okay?
us doing our own thing. I'm pretty sure.
I know that Healthy Pet, I talked to
Healthy
them
Pets
about
did.
it, and they were perfectly fine with us doing,
Right.
setting up next to them and doing the microchip.
And they do my
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Penny Paws, I wasn't sure about.
I believe they were. I believe they're the first ones we talked to.
If we could get Penny Paws out here in the morning, would be better.
I don't know, because they schedule their
I know.
dates, so they have 2 or 3.
Do you want me to check with Wellness on Wheels and see if Matt would be willing to come during one of those off weeks?
Sure.
And just say,
Ask him now, because he does Footbridge Foundation, her stuff,
okay.
and he goes to their office.
Actually, you know what? I gave him my card, he did not give me his card.
Oh, I bet you want his phone number, don't you?
I do, you've got it, I bet. Well, since you have it, I'll let you
Okay.
call him.
I can get it for you.
Okay.
Anyway, so let me know, so we can get it on the schedule and get the pavilion safe
How
for that
much
day.
notice do the citizens need?
It's good to give it at least 2 weeks.
2
2
weeks
weeks,
is good,
okay.
but if you can give them at least a full week,
Sometimes if you give them too long, they
if you give them too long, they forget.
Well, if we do, what we do
Because
is
she works
we,
every other weekend, so we'll have to work around that schedule.
yeah. Because what we do is we blast it on a bunch of different social media sites. And then
Okay.
we continue to blast it on those sites, and then we, bring it back up to the top of the feed.
Mhm.
So you're working this coming weekend.
No, I just worked Saturday and Sunday. I'm off this coming.
Your office coming work in there, so it's gonna be like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Because there's not enough time to do it this coming weekend.
Let me see the calendar. So I'm off the weekend of July 11th. Or July 25th.
And Penny Paws comes on the 18th. I think the 11th would probably be good.
Yep.
11th's good for me.
In the
Is
morning.
is the pavilion
How
free?
long is it gonna be? It depends on
2
how
hours.
So like 7
8.
to 9 or 8 to 10.
I would do like 9 to 11,
9 to
11:30, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you do it too early. What we found before for Healthy Pets is they got better when they did 11 to 1 or 10 to noon,
Mhm.
Because
Right.
people don't want to wake up.
real early in the morning, if you got family and you got your them going and everything.
Get everything done
Chris.
Get everything done so you have the
I
rest
don't
of
like
the day.
early.
I'm gonna tell him you're calling.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
I just automatically wake up at 5 every morning.
Oh, because you're crazy.
Is the pavilion free that day?
July, you said
July 11th
Mhm.
in the morning.
And what time did you say?
I would
9
mean
to 11:30?
9 to 11:30 or 10 to, like she said, 10 to 1, something like that.
I like 9 to 11:30 better.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if more people start showing up, it's not like we have to.
I mean, we don't have to
Mhm.
send them away. If there's a line, you're gonna get the chip.
July which one?
There will be no line.
July 11th?
Well,
But
Yeah.
there,
You know,
the people will
basically-
come for sure. Because we haven't had
Can
them
we-
since the last one.
And we had a
Reserve
good
it
turnout
from-
the last time.
We did, quite a few.
you can't beat $10.
No, you can't.
Can we reserve
Not
it
even at
from
Brooks.
8:30 to 11:30?
Catherine,
Catherine?
can we reserve it from 8:30 to 11:30?
Yeah.
9 to 11:30.
Yeah, but that's the actual time we want to be set up by that time, so
Oh,
I'll be
so-
down here earlier than that.
gotcha. So in case
What?
somebody schedules it before.
They know I'm gonna schedule it before 9
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah,
I'll do 8 to 9.
yeah.
That sounds good.
that's
And then
on
we'll
what
just
day?
make it 9 to
July
11:30.
July 11th and
9 to 11:30.
9 to 11:30.
Well, then.
You can put on there, I'll do nail trims that day too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, if I have to come and all.
Is there a fee for that?
You betcha.
What is the fee?
$10.
Yeah, they charge
Because it's easier.
buku to take them into that to get them.
I have a cat that I cannot trim her nails, and they charge me $35 to trim her nails.
All right. All right, so that's the 11th. Actually, 9 was on articles or reminders for the next newsletter. So we were going to do a cat article anyway, a TNR article anyway.
How often does the newsletter come out?
It's been out once this year.
It
Came
needs,
out like in November, December, sometime around there. And they're just, I mean, there's a lot going on, but I cannot take on writing the entire newsletter myself.
Right.
I just don't have the time to do it.
So we need a
So-
newsletter person.
Well, what we need is each department to submit articles. So
Right.
I've asked Public Works and Animal Control and the committees and
right.
the aldermen, everybody to provide something, and
Mhm.
Chris is the only one who gave me anything, and so,
So if you guys,
Look at
if you can
Chris.
put together an article
Good job,
and
Chris.
send it to Mickey and copy me.
Whatever.
yeah, and it can be on, you know, because we're gonna do an e-newsletter anyway, that gives us more flexibility. When we were doing a printed version,
It had
to
to
keep
be
the
short.
cost, we were
Deadline.
limited, you know, on
Spacing.
space. So we could use, I mean, we could put multiple articles in there.
Isn't Tom Rapino an alderman?
He is,
Did you ask him?
about,
Writing.
I asked all the aldermen to write something. I even gave him suggestions on topics to write about, and
I didn't
You
get
just
it.
didn't write them?
I just didn't write them.
I was gonna say, I never heard
You
about
write
it
it,
except for
I'll
ACAC.
I'm surprised because he usually likes doing something.
He's very good at it too.
Yeah, he is.
All right,
I used to
so,
work with him at
I know,
Connolly.
that's what he said.
okay, so 10 is discuss and/or possible action on costs for dewormer, flea tick, parvo test kits, and other vaccination care supplies that staff or volunteers at the shelter can handle for recommendation to city council. The dewormer, flea, and tick had already been approved by city council last year or the year before. And it never, I guess prices never came forward or the right products never came forward to actually be voted on. But aren't we gonna need those also for the shelter?
We are, but to be, I guess, better prepared, we would go through a company instead of buying it individually.
Right,
So I looked up, you know, who the county uses, and they used MWI, which is, they use it for vets and stuff like that. ZEP, different kinds of.
MWI is gonna be your cheapest.
Right, and the only thing we will need is a vet to get all the things that we might need, even for like, no, not just for the what's the drugs.
Yeah,
Right.
so your vet of record for the shelter or whoever we're using uses their MWI account to order the needed materials, whatever we need. You have to have a vet to do it.
Okay.
Not only that, we need
They're
a
not-
shelter
they're-
ID,
Stuff.
so the state vet's gonna have to come out and inspect our shelter.
Right, that we're covering later.
Right.
But we still wanted to have the supplies, so once that inspection was done, we had everything, or at least had the prices, so we could present it to council to
We
be
would need to make an
clear.
account first. So the reason,
And you have to have a vet for that first.
right, and then we'll also need a shelter number, but she has to do the inspection first. Does that make sense?
You don't
I
have
mean, the state has to assign a number?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Too many people at a time. What?
Okay, so that's the process. The vet has to come out and give us, inspect the
Right,
shelter first of all.
right.
And then give us a number. That number is gonna help us get all the things we need, drugs. It'll make us an account for MWI. So we
Okay,
can
okay, that's what I was
purchase
asking.
off their website.
Okay,
So there's a process to go through. You just don't.
so you can't get an MWI account without that, so we can't get the dewormer, flea tick, parvo kits.
We can, just not through MWI.
Okay,
Right,
can we get
We can go
the,
to Walmart and stuff like that.
Right.
can we get the pricing for those
But
items?
not yet. We have to make an account.
I can get you an idea though, because I have it at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I need the pricing so I can come up with the budget for the shelter,
Okay.
so that I can
Well,
present
so
it
my-
to
Which I get,
the
but
council.
is providing all the things to the animals that we pick up that's what the council has voted on, you're going to
No.
provide all of these?
No.
That's a question I have. So if we're gonna spend money and get pricing for those things, are you adopting out this pet? Like, what are your guidelines
So-
for when you pick up, you're doing all these things?
That goes back to the policy manual that she's putting together.
Right. Now, the question is, and this is more of ACO guidelines for the state, for the shelter. The dewormer, flea tick, we don't have to do on every dog, correct?
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything to the dog.
I know, but
We should.
we should.
Well, and I think, maybe.
It's the health and welfare of the
No, I
animals.
understand that, but I think there's gonna be some of those cases that come in that you're absolutely gonna have to do something because they're
That was-
so badly
That's what I was
infested.
saying. And the other one was the parvo test kits we were gonna do so that we did not contaminate the shelter, but only on the specific dogs that it's necessary for.
Puppies.
Puppies.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so we need to have those. So we can't even get, or you can get in the guideline for me?
I can.
Because I need to
Where's the
work
shelter
on
gonna
some of
be?
the math.
In the front,
Off Priest Road and Waterwood Pass. So if you went Waterwood Pass up by the Valero and take a right, just as you go around that corner, you'll see there's an entrance. And what you'll see there is our big municipal building that's under, yeah. I mean, it's there, it's just not ready. Behind that is where the shelter is. It's an 8-kennel prefab unit. And have they started working up there? Okay, they're supposed to start today.
Ma'am,
How extensive is a parvo test? I mean, what do you have to
what you have to
go through?
do,
Is
you
it
have to
like
take a fecal swab and
or-
stick it in the dog's anus and get a piece of some poop out, and then you've got to dip it in this solution, and then you got to suck it up with this other blue solution and drop it in the
Yummy.
snap test.
It's what, 15, 20 minutes tops?
I should hope it shouldn't take 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes for the test to come back. The whole thing should.
The whole thing, the
Yeah.
whole process,
The test takes about 10 minutes.
yeah.
The whole part of trying to loop a fecal loop in a dog's ass is the whole hard part.
Yeah.
I love Lynette. She just kind of tells it like it is.
No need to sugarcoat it.
Poor dog.
Especially that.
Just the way it is.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
And the next topic actually, Chris, was,
So before you move on to that, I know you started off that conversation about the cost and everything, indicating that council had already approved that. I'm going to make a recommendation that we disregard whatever was done.
Right.
Especially if it was done in a prior fiscal year, it would not apply
Right.
this fiscal year.
that's why I wanted the information.
I would just rather start fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I wanted the information. And the other one, we were discussing the dart gun for Chris. Two things. One, Acac Square Council already authorized the body camera.
We did.
Okay. I don't know
That
why I
would be
couldn't
great
find it.
if you had a dart gun.
And the other one was a dart gun. How much do those cost? And the tranks?
A lot.
It's a lot.
Well, define a lot.
Come on, define a lot.
Because, you know, right now for me,
They can come
30
in
bucks
kids,
is a
they-
lot.
Oh no, they're
For me
they're
right
a
now,
couple
30
$100,
bucks.
aren't they? They're expensive.
The darters
The
in
ones
San
we're looking at are
Antonio,
1,000.
if
and
they're
up.
called out to dart a dog that can't be trapped,
There is no darter in San Antonio. The only person that is licensed to dart is out of Houston right now.
Wait a minute.
there's a guy in San Antonio, I don't know his name offhand, but
Wait a minute. Let
But
Chris
I mean,
finish.
what I'm saying is they charge like $200 just to dart, so
Let Chris do. Finish.
So they do come in kits. Yes.
Do you have to have certification for that, Chris?
Yes.
And that's part of it. That's part of what we were talking about.
So there's training, there's certification,
hmm
so
an
that's an
ordeal.
additional cost. How many times, Chris, would you have, how many times up to this point
for the kids.
would that have been something you would have needed in any of the animal seizures that you've done?
I can't count off the top of my head, but I can say there's quite a few moments where I really wish I had it with me. Just today, you know, a dog went after the marshal. You know, if he would have called me, you know, what am I supposed to do? He actually had he shot at it, but he missed, luckily. But the dog ran
Marshal
away.
did?
Yeah, so if I had a tranquilizer gun, you know, we gone down and.
I don't need.
But yeah, there's also some other dogs that are vicious. So
Right.
once you're gone, they'll go back in the property and whatever. But for me to go out and try to get that dog trying to attack me, it'd be better if I just stayed in the truck, shot it with the tranquilizer gun, and take the animal, and then cite the person, whoever it belongs to.
Can you look up for future reference? Can you get the information on the training and the pricing for the
Yeah,
kit?
pricing for training
I
certification.
can, but training probably is at a halt right now because what's going on.
Oh, no, I know, but just for future reference,
Just
so we have it.
Because we got a budget for that.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be budgeted, but just so we know,
And for the equipment.
and for the equipment, yeah,
And I guess not just the equipment, but there's
the tranks.
whatever is in the, whatever the.
Yeah, like he said, it comes in a whole deal.
Okay.
Right.
So
If
it
it don't come
already
in a
has
kit,
the
the only thing you
medicine.
have to replace or get more of is the actual tranquilizer.
Right.
And is that orderable through MWI as well?
No, it's through the company that you buy
Okay,
the thing
Yeah.
so
for.
something
They're
separate.
pretty cool. I saw them at a seminar.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's a deal.
Yeah. They come with the case and everything, and it gives you a couple, so you can try it out. Why not?
On your
Yeah, if you can,
your siblings or your
Try it out.
no testing on children. Those chaotic things that run around. Yeah, if you can get the cost for the training and for the kit and everything, supplies and everything, that would be good. Just to, so we know it for future. And then number 11 is Christopher. Discuss and/or possible action on help to set up the facility for inspection.
So, I don't know how everybody knows about how the facility works, but you need proper inspections, you need to have proper postings, a lot of stuff goes into the shelter that people don't really realize it. I'm sure she does. But to actually get it started is probably a pain in the ass. Lots of inspections, lots of having the vet to come out and look at.
Excuse me.
So one of the things that was mentioned was if we wanted to make it a quarantine facility, which is in itself a feat, because you have to think about everything that the animal that's quarantined is going to pose to the other animals that are in your facility. So yes, we have that one that's a quarantine animal, but it's at the other side. We could move it and stuff like that. We would need other things to make it happen.
Like,
So for instance, the state inspector did ask about if we're going to be a quarantine facility, and I said, well, we're going to need to discuss that because there's more things to it than just having the dog in there that's quarantined. She said that if it is going to be a quarantine facility, we're going to need
Catherine, look out the window.
Hmm?
Look out the window. I don't know,
Bathroom's
somebody
out there.
dropped something off or... Anyway, go ahead, it's fine.
we're going to need, I forgot what she said.
So let me ask this question. Give me a situation where we would need a quarantine.
If a dog bit somebody.
I'm sorry?
If a dog bit somebody.
that's
A
what I
dog
was
bite.
thinking.
Okay, that's what I thought. So,
Dog bites and cargo.
that's a 10-day hold process.
Right.
So we know what it costs because we've had to do it a couple of times already. We already know what it costs to use Oak Hills to do that. In a quarantine facility, as I understand it, there are some additional requirements as far as staffing. Somebody has I think it's twice a day they have to be able to check on that animal. So we need weekend coverage.
But wait a minute, wouldn't we need to do that for anytime
Well-
we have animals in there?
Yes, you do, but I think for quarantine specifically, there was something very specific about the number of times that you have to check on that animal while it's in
And
quarantine.
document.
So we have to weigh the cost of that.
See, I read it was the same amount of, it's recommended you check on the animals the same amount of times, whether they're quarantined or not. If it's for a rabies bite, if it's for a questionable rabies bite.
Right.
I wasn't talking about any of the other potential reasons for quarantining.
Well, in my mind, that's the only time we would.
That's the only time I
the only
can
time
think we would,
quarantine, and that's because we're required by state
Right.
law to do so.
right?
Of course, ideally, if the owner of the animal is known and the property as you would deem acceptable for a home quarantine, then that would be ideal. That saves the owner money, that saves the city money.
Is that allowed in Texas?
It is
Yeah,
allowed.
It is allowed in Texas.
But
Okay.
certain criteria have to be met. They have to be able to keep the animal away from other
pets and
animals.
people.
Yes, and
Right.
they have to keep an eye on it, and, there's, chances are if that dog was out anyway, that they're not set up to do that.
Right.
I just know that quarantining an animal is very costly to the city to do that, and in the end, the owners don't want to pay for it, so the dog ends up being put down anyway.
Very costly to the city if we take it to like Oak Hills.
Correct?
Okay, that's what you meant.
Yes, that's
when you
what I
said
meant.
that. Okay,
Yes, the way we've been doing it, it's very
Okay.
costly. So let's talk about that for just a second. So if you have an animal, a dog who has bit a person, that's not a suitable animal to adopt out. Am I correct, Lynette?
Well, I mean, it depends on, there's a lot of variables that go with that.
Yeah, if it was inside the property and.
I mean,
Did they tease
you
the
would have, they
animal?
would
Were
have to be
they?
assessed. I mean, you don't know.
Don't they get like 2 strikes?
You still have, I don't know about that, but you still have to do a 10-day hold.
Well, no, you don't. Here's where I'm going with that. So if that dog has, if the owner says, or the neighbors say, you know, that dog chases me all the time, it threatens me all the time, or it actually bit somebody, and we know who the owner is, an option is to have that dog put down and send it off for testing. You eliminate the 10 days. You send it off for testing and you get the answer for the person, the victim who was bit.
Do we as a city have to pay for that
We have to
testing?
coordinate that through the state for the testing, but the owner ultimately is responsible for all the cost.
But the owner doesn't pay to begin with.
Well, they're gonna get cited.
Mr. Howington's dogs were, because that happened with him probably 20 years ago, I want to say it was, and Bear County took all of his dogs because he had no vaccination records, nothing like that, and he didn't want to pay for the quarantine. So they just confiscated the dogs.
They confiscated the dogs.
Yes.
Now, if the
And
dog,
sent them off for testing, or they weren't gonna quarantine?
But they were not going to quarantine them.
So they just put them all down.
You only have to
Yes.
quarantine if if a person's been bit,
Exactly.
Right,
and then
right.
then when the dog is euthanized, then they saw off the head and send it off.
Right.
No, my question was if the owner does not pay for the testing, the city foots that bill, correct?
Chris, that gets put on a citation when they go to court?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
If the owner, if the dog is immediately put down and the owner refuses to pay for the
The
testing, the
and
rabies testing,
euthanization.
and the euthanasia, does the city wind up being stuck with that bill, or can that automatically go into the citation?
Yeah, they'll go in the citation. So they're gonna present it to court, then.
So we
The judge will
could
look
still
at it.
technically lose it if they refuse to pay their citations, which happens.
That's a chance to take,
Yeah.
but they get billed for it. The owner or the vet does.
My question is, what does the state charge for that?
Charge
It's
for,
what the vet charge for what the.
For the testing for the rabies?
Oh, I can find out at work. It's whoever the vet uses. Like it's not like Chris is gonna chop off the dog's head.
No.
The vet does, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
the
but
vet
they have
pays for
to,
that.
don't they have to send it to the state facility?
well, it's here in San Antonio.
It's
It is
here.
in San Antonio.
It's here.
over
Dr.
at
Estep does
WWY.
it. Yeah, no, it's not. There's a fee for it, but I mean, I can look at work. We
Okay.
have to send it on.
paying
Pretty pricey. But it probably, so the judge will look at that and probably say, you know, the charge we incurred for your dog that you're responsible for was this much. And she can, I mean, the fine can go up to $2,000.
That's how it is when your
Right.
dog gets picked up at ACS. You get
Yeah.
charged all that.
Yeah, so,
Oh, yeah, no, it's not a matter, I'm not, okay, let's try this again. I'm not questioning
How
that
are
we
you
get
gonna
stuck for
recover
it
it?
or recover it. My question is, how expensive is the state testing for that? Because I know in New Mexico, it's really expensive. And
I
if the
can see what
city
it-
was to get
Ask JC.
stuck with those bills,
Right.
I'll ask Andy.
then it could be an issue.
Andy
Well, I
did
mean,
it
it's
for us
it's not
once.
it's not an avoidable expense.
yeah.
It is if we quarantine the dog for 10 days and there's no signs of rabies, signs or symptoms of rabies.
Right. But if the
But
if the owner chooses, if we have to euthanize the dog on our own, I mean that's an expense that has to be factored into the budget.
Where's she in Berkeley?
The euthanization, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about
She's actually-
sending it away for the testing.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying that that's a fee that has to be added. I mean, it can't be avoided if that has to happen.
I agree. What I'm trying to say is that we've had animals with 10-day holds that they have ultimately been euthanized after the 10 days, but they've shown no signs of rabies. So they weren't sent out to a lab for rabies testing.
The rule with rabies, 100% avoidable, number one.
Yes, it is.
Number two,
Yes, it is.
from the time the dog bites, that dog, if it has rabies, will not live past 10 days, period. That's it. That's why they do a 10-day hold. So even if it's exhibiting signs, it's still alive at the end of 10 days, it doesn't have rabies.
Right. But you're talking about putting any animal that bites a
Yeah,
person
before.
down.
What I'm suggesting is that...
Do you know where I'm coming from?
No, here's what I'm suggesting. If the owner is known, because we're going to have two scenarios. Known owner, non-owned owner.
Right.
Non-owned
No,
owner.
no, no,
No, no, no.
I know what you meant.
In the case of the known owner, and in this case, the neighbors usually know. They've been feeding that dog. If they've been feeding that dog, it's their dog. If you explain to them at that time, when that incident is recorded, and that animal is taken into custody, and you explain to them, here's what's going to happen. This dog's going into hold for 10 days. It's going to cost X number of dollars for the 10-day hold, plus you're getting a citation. That's going to cost you blah, blah, blah. You want to keep this dog? You want to surrender this dog? They surrender the dog, we just take care of it right now.
So you're saying we just euthanize it right then?
And send it away for testing.
And send it away for testing.
My question remains, I'd like to see the pricing for the
Well, no, I
testing for
understand-
rabies.
I understand.
It's over 300.
Yeah, because I've seen it over 700 in
Yeah.
other states.
I'm
I don't know what it is here. I've seen it in over 700 in other states, and that's just for the test. That's
And I
not
don't
for all
have
the rest of
Andy's
the
phone number,
stuff.
I would text him, but he did it for us for an animal.
Did he?
I have a question. If a dog has bitten someone and the owner has proof of rabies, proof of having a rabies shot, are they still quarantined?
No,
About how much it costs.
As long as they can show proof,
If they can show that vaccination paper.
and then,
it has to be
All
validated.
right, and, well,
Although-
they stamp them at the vet's office and stuff.
No, what we're saying is, he has to validate the paperwork presented is for that animal.
Yeah, well,
Right.
it'll have breed and color and
Mhm.
age and stuff, that should be easy enough. But
That's
I
as
was
far
just-
as,
I was just curious, because.
that's as far as the rabies test, but in an animal bite case, where they show the proof of vaccination, don't they still get a citation automatically?
For the
Yeah,
bite,
sure.
for the
Yeah.
bite itself, in itself.
Thought so.
And then, of course, they're facing all kinds of civil issues.
Now, if somebody went into the property and they weren't supposed to, and the dog was enclosed, that'd be a different story. You know,
Right.
The dog was protecting the property.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I would have to agree with
What else did you need for the, what assistance, one of the things that Acac is tasked with is helping the animal control department, whether it's cleaning cages, or I think those are some of the examples that were given, other items. That's in the ordinance. And so what are some other items that this committee could help the animal control department with? Do you have them off the top of your head, or can you think about it for a week or so and come back?
If we want to euthanize, have our own self-euthanize place, we need to construct or maybe refurbish one of those old storages so we can do it in one of those.
Well, you need a deep freezer.
We have a deep freezer,
Oh,
We have that, yeah.
but we would need to modify it a little bit to bring it up to code pretty much.
So when you talk about that, I know originally we agreed for you to take the class and be able to do that in the event of an after hours, an evening, a weekend, a situation where there's a severely injured animal that needs to be put out of its misery, you would be available to do that.
If it was that case, then I would need, there would be a policy in place for me to actually euthanize on site, which would be
Okay.
okay. But also
One
don't
thing
have
I
one.
could
So
never do,
the other option is to
and I would never
use.
volunteer to help to do
You would
it.
have to transport that animal to a facility
Right.
Right.
unless the marshal's with you or the deputy. And they could take care of it in those rare situations.
When you say a gun, you mean a firearm? Not are you talking about injecting them?
No, yeah, I'm fine. So that would be in severe cases, which has happened before. You know, there's an animal on the street that just got ran over. You know, they're just in pain. There's nothing else to do but euthanize on the site. Because I've literally had to take a Chihuahua that had all broken legs to Oak Hills, you know, in the truck, and it's suffering. You know, it's not having a good
And
time.
it had to be put down,
Right.
they had to put it down, that was their recommendation to put it down.
I mean, all the legs were broken. It was bad. So.
So it'd be easier to have.
Unfortunately, we haven't had that many of those kind of cases. We
But it
just
would-
want to be prepared if something like that comes up.
Right.
So I started that conversation because I wanted to find out, is there an expectation that you would be doing any euthanization other than that? And if so, give me a scenario.
Well, I mean, if you hold a dog for too long, and, you know, it's really old, in the shelter, once we get it up, open, possibly.
Well, there's senior hospice rescues too.
There's rescues that'll deal with that.
Yeah, but we've had animals that have stuck around for ages and not found a home.
Right, we've had dogs for 2 or 3 months at a time.
But how well have we made it a point to try to get
I
them
know at least one of them we
rescued?
really tried. And
Maybe like
couldn't find a
15 or
place.
something.
One of the
Or consider
advantages
dangerous.
to having our own facility is to alleviate the cost of having to board an animal, because we don't have a facility. But when the city's having to pay for that, we've had to make some hard decisions. When we have a facility of our own, it allows us a little more flexibility in the hold times so that we can work with those unique animals, that we
Find
can
them a home.
find a rescue or a
Right.
foster or a home without expending a whole lot of money on that.
Right.
but in the offhand chance that there was a need for euthanasia, because of like that Chihuahua, it would be nice for you to have one of those a building or something that you could do it in. Is that what I heard correctly? That we could just refurbish?
Right. Or a vicious animal. If we pick up a dog and it
Right.
just doesn't adapt to the environment,
Right.
you know, there's those instances where no one's going to take the dog.
And speaking of, and I know this is a little off topic, but is there an expectation that the freezer moves up there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
No, it's gonna be the park wall.
And tell me that is locked. Has a lock on it?
It's locked, but all you have to do really is put your finger in there. And,
Don't say it out loud.
It's locked.
It's locked, thank
It's
you.
locked.
CJ, to answer your question regarding euthanasia, it's about 165, just that piece of it, much less, I mean, if you.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't the euthanasia, I was
I'm not the euthanasia,
questioning.
the rabies testing.
The rabies, really? It's only
Well,
165.
that's, when the vet does it, Oak Hills charges $95 for the head prep. What's a rabies titer test? Is that
That's the
so?
actual
The
test.
blood test.
It's a blood test to see if there's any vaccine in them.
$40. They charge $30 per head for shipping. And then, of course, if they dispose of it, you've got after body care and all of that.
Right.
That's not including, of course, at the vet, when you take them in, they charge you a new patient fee of $45 a
I
dog.
hate those fees. I think they're ridiculous.
So you might as well add that on.
So, and that's not including the euthanasia and the disposal.
To euthanize the canine is $89, well, put $90, $89.95.
Now, and then after they do that, they ship the head
That was
to
part of it.
San Antonio.
There's a
And
location.
does the San Antonio, is there a cost on the San Antonio part?
No, that's a state DSHS, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they charge the vet, then the vet gets billed, but that's what they charge us to do it.
Right. Oh, that's not so bad then. That's not too bad.
That's shockingly cheap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So 2 dogs were done and it cost them $760.80.
For two. That's not bad at all.
Did they pay that, by the way?
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, they had to.
They did?
And they still got a citation.
Okay, and then,
And that was a voluntary surrender.
Well,
Sort of.
they had to be. I mean,
No, they were
the
seized,
bit
pretty much, because of what had happened.
right,
On White Cherry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those two.
so,
So you came up with 165, Catherine?
plus the
Well, that's
45, plus the 90, but it's still,
So $300 basically for
right,
rabies.
Yeah.
for the testing, the
Just the
euthanasia, the
testing,
freezing, or the cremation. Yeah, that's not bad. And then Chris, the other one was discuss and/or possible action on posting signs in and around the facility.
Right, that would go along with the assistance. But, I mean, I can do a check, I can make a checklist of what needs to be done. And we can go down and check it off as we go.
Yeah, because if you could make a checklist and then maybe there's a day, a Saturday or something, when a bunch of us could get together and help do that, if all the supplies were available and whatever
have
we needed,
somebody
we could get a bunch of things
Order the
knocked
things
off.
that we need. Stuff
Pardon?
like that. We
Yeah.
can have somebody, order the things we need,
Right,
or look it up at least, and then that way we can have an idea of what we need and how much it costs.
so you'll put together
A checklist, yeah.
a checklist? Okay. And we already discussed the quarantine.
I think in your, on number 14, in your policy manual, even if we do the quarantine in-house, we probably need to make sure we have a fee structure associated with that.
Yeah.
And for dogs that are picked up that we know who the owner is. So in case they do want it back, they're charged a fee of how many days the dog
For
was there.
quarantine, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. And 15 is discuss and/or possible action on a volunteer campaign for Animal Control Department and the shelter. Where I was going with that, and I don't know if anybody has any ideas, but where I was going with that was getting more volunteers that are willing to help out and/or, getting more volunteers that are willing to help out.
I think if you put the call out, I've had a couple of people reach out to me already saying, when you're ready, I'll help out. So they need somebody to go down and feed them, walk them.
Right, but somebody has to be in charge of all that. Like if you're gonna have volunteers do that, you're gonna leave Chris to be in charge of that. You have to have one volunteer coordinator.
Exactly.
Or it's gonna be
Chaos.
Right.
a huge
No, I
mess.
get it.
But that's part of the policy, procedure and policy manual that Chris will go over the rough draft, and then we'll present it here and go over it, and then we'll present it to city council and go over it, and then accept it. The shelter policy is going to be a little different because it's going to need to go through Chris and then the shelter committee and then to city council.
Do you know Elena Berlinga? Floresville, Wickness, Wilson County No-Kill Animal Shelter? Well, she's very open and receptive, and she started that shelter just with privately funded money The government, she's not getting anything from Wilson County or anything. But she could probably help, because she does a lot of volunteer campaigns for the shelter there. So if you want, I can give you her number. She's very open and receptive. And maybe she could just fax you her policy and you can adjust it to what you think is best for here.
Well, that's for the volunteer portion of it, yeah.
Right, because she has.
Yeah, because the
like,
actual
she has-
shelter policy and procedure manual has to be according to the state.
Well, so does
That's the
Chris.
state one.
It'll be the same thing she has. She's a state facility.
She's a state facility?
Yes, ma'am.
It'll also be posted in the facility or outside the facility. Actually,
That's in her office.
Oh, it's in her office. But yeah, just so if you have a new volunteer and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, it has to be right there. They can see it.
That's the guideline sheet that's posted. Yeah, this is the actual, this is like the marshal's big manuals.
Big policy manual,
The
yeah.
big policy manual that you have to have on the shelf, and certain people have to read it. That one.
And y'all were talking about the Wilson County no-kill shelter? Is that what you're mentioning?
Mhm.
Wilson County No-Kill Animal Shelter is WCNUS, WK.
WCK.
WCK, I always forget the C.
She can
They're
come
one of the
talk
ones
too,
I've
Chris,
talked to.
If you want to.
She
That's what I was
If she
thinking.
can come talk, I'll ask her. I'm
Yeah.
friends with her.
Are ya?
For our next meeting?
I am.
Because that's one of the ones I've talked to.
Elena? Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She's
very knowledgeable.
busy building the dog park or her husband a putting green.
Or out on her
She's
EMS
like Wonder Woman.
cars,
I swear
out
this
calls
woman.
and.
But that's
I
the
didn't know when she's
shelter.
leaving.
That's for the shelter, right? Okay, that
She can
needs to be
come-
at the shelter meeting.
Well, she can come, she can come.
For the volunteer piece of it. Sure.
Yeah, she does, she's done it all, so she would be a good resource for Chris, for sure.
Yeah,
Actually, the, Jordanton,
Jordanton's another one.
what was
Petite Jordanton.
where's the county?
Atascosa.
Atascosa
Atascosa.
County actually came to Wilson County. The ACO came to Wilson County to see their shelter and see.
Exactly.
Yeah, you told me about that, yeah.
That's
So,
Dominguez.
she's very knowledgeable. She knows everything about everything.
When
And not
she
in
did
an
this, she
arrogant
didn't say
way.
if that
She
address
just
was where the
wants
burden
to
was
give
her.
information, you know, and she's very smart. And if she doesn't know it, she'll research it, look it up, and give it to you.
All right.
No, I did not.
Anything else on that subject? That one, if it's volunteers for the shelter, it needs to be with Chris and with the shelter.
Who's on the shelter committee?
Cat River,
Hi, Brianna. This
Debbie
is
Martinez,
City Clerk for the City of San Diego.
Alan Young,
I just called for a flyer and I asked
I'm
if
chair,
they called the, also
and then
at 230
we still have to make the 2 nominations to City Council Thursday night for the
No,
vet and for the
230.
rescue.
27.
Who are you nominating for that?
Doesn't it have to go through City Council first?
And I'm not sure if that's where the fire is at. Or if
Dr.
it's
Hill.
like a neighbor who called in to
And
say,
did you ever get the contact for,
they heard an explosion
you had somebody with the rescue?
during the fire.
Yeah, she's not,
I don't know if that's what, Barrel fire.
she's not technically affiliated with her, but she is closely,
Was that the
Right,
one that
and we
was-
checked with Cassandra on that, and she said that was,
she said that was okay as long as she's.
right. But I need her name for Thursday night.
Yeah, it's either that address or
Oh, really?
next door to it.
Is that yay, nay?
Not my choice. I mean, I
I can give
I've
you-
only spoken with her. I've not ever worked with her.
Do you
so
have somebody you would recommend?
I have no idea.
It's 9.
Everybody I've talked to so far has declined.
36.
Who was this?
What do you want them to? What would their capacity be on the board?
They have to be a member of the board.
Right.
To do
So
anything?
what are you expecting them to do on the shelter board?
The shelter board is tasked with seeing to it that the shelter meets state code and assists with the running of
what
the
is the
shelter.
rescue's capacity on the board?
To be a member of the board.
But to
There-
do what? To make recommendations? To
Oh,
actually
the
coordinate?
board's the board is to see to it that everything meets the state regulations and to report back to the city council.
Okay.
We cannot,
You can't have the board without a member of a rescue being on the board.
right.
Okay.
And we cannot say that that person's gonna do X, Y, and Z, you know,
I was just curious.
yeah.
Who have you asked?
Oh, God. Who all did we check with? I've checked with 3 different shelters. One of the rescue places up in, Healthy Pets, Penny Paws. One of the shelters up in, off of New Braunfels. Not a shelter, a clinic up there. And
That's for the doctor?
no, this is for somebody with a rescue or animal welfare organization. I think they run the clinic out of
And that
BCA or
board
something like
meets
that.
how often?
3 times a year.
3 times a year?
No. The vet must attend 3 meetings a year.
Okay.
That is up to the board to decide how many times they meet. In the beginning, I'm sure they're gonna meet more than that. But after that, it would be great if it was once a quarter, if we could get it to the point where it's once a quarter. But I don't think it's gonna take a while to get it up to that speed, you know, where it can go once a quarter. But the vet must attend at least 3 meetings a year.
So I think there's 4 people sitting here. Julie, Lynette, Lori, and Janet that I think have experience with that and maybe can offer a recommendation for somebody for that position.
For rescues?
I've already brought it up in this meeting a couple of times and nobody's bitten.
Well, no, I'm just saying that they work, they move
In that area.
in that circle, they know a lot of people. I mean,
And the
just sitting
person
here
has
this
to work
evening,
in a,
there's been names thrown about.
In a
so-
fact-
I want them to be
Preferably.
affiliated.
all the people I know work in hospitals.
No, you got the feral
Animal
cat.
rescue or animal welfare.
Where you're the.
Oh, who was the one you
So
had mentioned?
the animal welfare
San
person for the
Antonio
community
Army.
just has to be affiliated with
I'm
a
the,
rescue?
let me see
Or
what,
it's a rescue or a.
Animal welfare
Animal
organization.
welfare program.
Just
affiliated with?
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to
Mine-
be.
That could be me. I'm on the board for Wayward Whiskers Cat
Well,
Rescue.
there you go.
But no, no thanks.
What'd you say?
Because I'm like, I'm
I know what you're doing. So I could probably, I'll, if it doesn't have to be, like a specific person from a rescue. You know what I'm saying? Like
just somebody who's.
the director or something
No,
like
no,
that.
Oh, no.
No, that's what I was trying to get
No,
at.
no, no,
No,
just somebody
no.
affiliated with
With,
the rescue
with
program
rescue.
or animal welfare.
Gotcha. Is Dr. Hill gonna be the vet? Because he said yes?
He said yes, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how, if he's gonna hold it up or, but he told me yes.
That's cool. I'm just curious.
Did you get it in writing?
No, I wanted to.
Trust me, he doesn't like writing.
So for the volunteers on this, I guess, volunteer campaign, will they need to sign a?
Waiver.
Yes. Yeah, and that'll be part of the, we already have one, but it's not specific enough. And so I have a copy from ASPCA's field clinic that I'm just kind of incorporating it in, and from Elmendorf Shelter. I'm incorporating them in to what we already have.
Okay, so have we exhausted the agenda?
Yes, we have.
And
Are we ready to adjourn?
Yes, we are.
time,
Time is
8:02.
8:02.